And we're back with another episode. I didn't cancel it like I originally said I was going to. Today we are reading a story called Nanometal, a canon divergence from City on the Edge of Battle, despite having recovered from her comatose state. Thanks to the efforts of Miana, Yukutani still senses a trace of living nanometal still within her, tries to resist its control. All the while she begins to feel a growing trust, respect, and gratitude for the young Hotua priestess. Perhaps even something much deeper. Oh. Take it away, Joe.
Alright. Chapter 1. Nanometal, a Godzilla fanfiction by H.R.C. Stanley. Based on the Godzilla Monster Planet anime trilogy by Toho Company, LDT, and Polygon Animation. That wonderful, wonderful anime trilogy. Chapter 1. Yuka was alone. Alone in the infinite dark. She could hear no sound in this empty void. She couldn't feel a warmth or cold, just nothing. Her feet felt almost numb against the black, flat, and smooth surface. It's almost as if her senses had completely shut down. Slowly, she had made a step and wandered aimlessly in the unknown, to no end. Then, from nowhere, and everywhere, her ears began to catch something. Faint, yet close whispers of an undetermined language. She quickly turned her head to see where it may have come from, tossing, running, and stopping, but still no sign of life other than her. She hung her mouth to call out to anyone out there, anything, but could only manage to exhale a broken breath. Suddenly, she felt an invisible force strike her through her chest, cold and sharp, causing her body to bend forth and fall to her hands and knees. Dorsal plates slowly protruded from her spine and back, slicing through and from her skin. And from her skin. A surge of agony coursed through her veins, forcing her to tremble and shake violently from this nightmarish mutation.
Yeah!
She saw her numb arms twist and contort. Numb hand arms twist and contort until they began to turn a dark chrome silver and morph into sharp mechanical hands. She could feel nothing but a tormenting ache that was breaking her at her body, mind, and soul. Her body, mind, and soul, Godzilla. She gazed up high enough to see red lights staring down at her like cold, merciless eyes. Manila. The voices soon became more clear and loud, but never even overtly aggressive. Still very passive and seductive, yet shockingly familiar. However, they sounded as if they were actually between her ears, inside her mind. She clutched the sides of her head, even tried as hard to scream in the vain hope of drowning them out, but any attempt to block out the tormenting sounds proved futile.
Join us!
Embrace us. Embrace our power.
Embrace
your power. Be one with us. Be our God. Be our God.
Her eyes flashed wide open, body shivering and trembling, chest rising, gasping for air, forced to cough a few times. She looked down to see she was no longer wearing her suit and uniform, but instead a rather native, dark gray clothing tightly wrapped around her, covering and binding such not unlike a thing and a short, symmetrically patterned skirt tied around there and reached down to her knees. She raised her still.
Oh, that's hot. That is hot.
Take pleasure.
Her still shaking hands to wipe the sweat off her forehead. However, a quick gasp escaped the moment she caught something rather wrong. The sweat weren't clear as usual, rather the all too familiar silvery metallic color. She then scanned all over her body, and arms and body, to see she had been nearly enveloped by deep tainted veins of similarly gray shade. The young girl looked around to see she was in a small covered room of some sort made visible by dim light.
Ah, you really are quite a lucky child after all.
A calm, passive, and familiar voice sent Yuko into a brief shock as she swiftly turned to see who it was. A slender, pale humanoid donned in white and violet robes, and a calm yet slightly unnerving stare stepped in her room.
Oh, Medby,
Yuko recognized.
what happened? Where are my clothes?
I think you might have an idea. Haruo managed to prevent your complete assimilation from the nanometal, though it ended up putting you into a brief state of suspended animation.
Metfees stepped down to one knee and explained.
I don't trust Metfees.
I don't trust him either. During so, the spreading in your body slowed down just long enough for the young priestess to counteract it until it became completely dormant. For now, as for your clothes being on organic material, they couldn't be fixed from the infection, so they had to be removed and disposed of.
Okay. So, how long has it been since I have been unconscious? And Haruo, is he alright?
Not to fear, he's completely fine, and when I say fine, he's fine. It has been about 2 Earth weeks at most.
And Godzilla?
Still alive and ruling your Earth with one footstep at a time. You should continue your rest. I'll be sure to inform Haruo of your recovery. Chances are he'll be very pleased to see you alive and back on your feet again. But first, can you tell me how long you'll last with a pillow over your face?
And with that, the suspicious priest stood back up and turned away.
Wait,
Yuko called out, causing the mysterious priest to briefly pause his step.
if what you said is true, then does that mean I'm no longer human? Am I becoming something else entirely?
You're from the Godzilla anime. None of us are human.
We're all white.
When she finished her question, Metfees rested his chin upon his fingers and pondered. The otherwise short silence felt like endless minutes.
Who knows?
Metfees sighed.
Maybe you still have a piece of humanity left. Maybe you've become something beyond human. Maybe we'll find out. Or we may never even know.
Without a further word or even a turn, the priest continued on his way out of the cave, fading into the dark caverns ahead. Yuko, still feeling uncertain, exhaled and held her shoulders tight before laying down her head once more. For a time she stared up at the dim ceiling, tempted to let her eyes close and drift off, if not the strange nightmare.
To be continued.
To be contondered!
Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah, honestly, like, if I'm allowed to go first and say, that was good. That was actually legitimately good.
Yep.
That was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, it has a good setup. I actually really enjoyed that initial nightmare sequence where it's like she's morphing into Mechagodzilla. That's like, that's nice. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then having something of a side story where Yuko woke up is like, alright, we'll see where this goes. I'm actually genuinely interested to see.
It's sort of like the Ruby and Friday the 13th crossover. I want to see where this goes, but unlike that, this is actually competent.
Yes. So far, so good. Like this is actually looking unironically competent. Maybe a couple minor
Yeah, I noticed at least one error.
Yeah, like she saw her numb hands, arms twist. So that's a little awkward.
I was thinking more of when it said though instead of through.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Other than that, this is actually pretty good.
Right. So I hope like the last sentence of the summary has me a little concerned, but maybe it'll be done competently well. I don't know. But like so far, this story looks like it's in promising hands.
And this is legitimately a good AU idea, having Yuko being... Or it's not really clear yet if she is becoming Mechagodzilla, it's only the dream, but... Damn, this still sounds like a good idea.
Definitely. So let's see how far the story goes, and like, does she become the next Mechagodzilla? That'd be interesting. Dark too. So, like, obviously, I think this is going to be expected. Well, I mean, the anime trilogy were always more human-centric stories, so it was like, I think having something like this where it's mostly focusing on the human angle is perfectly fine. So, I'd imagine Godzilla's just kind of going to be dormant, not really doing much, since he was kind of sleeping last we checked.
All I could say is that this new Mechagodzilla is going to become dummy thick.
Dick Truly.
It's already better than the one in the anime.
Hey!
Guys, I'm sorry, I keep letting Godzilla and Ghidorah know I'm just so dummy thick that it keeps alerting them.
But no, yeah, this is actually legit good. Alex, do you have any like additional thoughts to say on the matter, or?
No, you pretty much nailed it right on the head. This is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we made fun of it because we saw some jokes it takes opportunity of.
Yeah.
Aside from some very few errors, which again, I don't know if this had a beta reader or someone proofreading this or whatever. Just aside from those little things, this is really good.
Absolutely.
Probably on a critical level, this is probably objectively the best fanfic we read on the show.
Absolutely. I think, objectively speaking, yes, I think this is unironically the best fanfic we've ever read. And it's only a chapter 1 of something that's... Honestly, I wouldn't mind revisiting like this series once in a while to see if there's more. So
yeah, I'm up for it. Joe, any thoughts?
I liked it. And I don't like the anime trilogy.
I think that's just about everyone's thoughts.
Yeah. I was surprised with how little I could really make fun of it, because it was genuinely good.
Yeah.
It has interesting ideas. Cool opening.
I'll let you finish.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't know what much else to say.
Another thing I like about this, it finally gives Yuko purpose.
She actually has things to do.
She actually feels like a character.
yeah, totally. So
Instead of being dummy thick.
yeah, absolutely.
You mean she's not just woman?
She's not just girl.
She's not just not sister.
Waifu sister.
I mean, she is not just something for my mouth to water. I mean, just a bland character.
No, those are the Mothra twins.
Hey.
Yeah, but they're not as thick as her. My son, you have any thoughts?
Shows that writing is better than the actual trilogy. Sometimes.
Majority of the time.
Majority of the time.
Yeah, it's this, then Planet Eater, then City, then Planet of Monsters.
927 words are better than 3 entire scripts.
Ditto, any thoughts?
It's short and sweet. Pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. I think not much else to really say about it. Although I am pretty interested to see where it goes.
Right on,
I
brother.
think this was made recently, right?
Yes.
May 31st.
So, in the wake
Yeah,
of
that's pretty-
King of Monsters.
And it's gotten some reviews.
All of it.
Oh, yeah, we should read the review.
Oh, yeah. We
Oh
did.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, we were so scarred. I'm pretty sure there were like reviews over the chapters of the last one we did, but we were so war-torn by that one, we didn't even bother.
Oh no, I checked. There weren't any.
No. Super Godzilla Sailor Cosmo says, a story about the anime Godzilla. Unfortunately, there aren't not many. In any case, the story is very interesting. Please continue writing quickly. I have to know what's going on. With kind regards, Super Godzilla Sailor Cosmos.
Hearts of the Demon says, this fic is right on time for the Godzilla franchise's 65th anniversary this year. I enjoyed reading the first chapter.
Sir Calvin says, looking great so far. Keep up the good work and hope the updates come soon.
Man, it's like reading about someone being assimilated by the board.
Whoa, that's a clever observation.
I clapped when I heard it. Wait, Alex, that's a Star Trek reference.
Oh my god, I love Star Trek. This reminds me of an episode of Star Trek.
Oh no.
Guessed. Kinda like it. I like the idea where Yuko in her coma, but in her conscious mind is where Nanometal tried to turn her into monster to form Mechagodzilla, but Yuko was scared and desperate and couldn't move her body and mouth. Like it how Nanometal almost did her body before Yuko. At the time Yuko saw she was in cave and Metfi came to relief. She was wake, telling her that she was in coma past 2 weeks by Metfi. Yuko informed Metfi if she's still human or monster, but Metfi don't know. I like the story. Keep up the good work and continue more of this. I want to more.
That is more riffable than the actual story.
Yeah, it really is. I'm sorry, guest commenter, but yeah, your comment, you need to kind of work on your English, brother.
Other guest, a fascinating story about Yuko herself. Keep writing story. I want to see more story with Yuko and maybe had her redemption. And I want to see Yuko relationship with Miana. Okay, why does Yuko need to be redeemed? She did nothing wrong.
Yeah, she didn't do anything wrong. I don't think that's what he meant, but I feel like he couldn't find the right word for it. So
I want to see Yuko as a character.
oh yeah, totally.
Yes.
So far this is a promising start. So
Hashtag justice for Yuko.
Well, you know our consensus? This was a really good fic. We all liked it. It's what we needed after Bride of Bagan, which I still have PTSD over. If you ever find the time to read this, do it, because this is good. Or hell, if you see another chapter and waiting for us to cover it, don't read it yourself. This is good. I'm giving the author HRC Stanley an endorsement. Please read this. This is good.
this is actually this is not let's read it along for irony's sake. This is actually please read it because this needs more attention.
Yeah, I give you a salute, my good man. You made it hard for us to riff, and you made a good story out of it.
Totally. So
I'm just excited thinking about it, the possibilities. Thank you, my good sir. You certainly made our week. We'll see you all next week for a less than stellar fanfic. Bye.
oh.
Bye.
Goodbye, old friend.
Yeah.